Peace and love, everyone. Peace and love. Today, I want to talk about this practice that was used in mystery schools. This practice was used in ancient Egypt and was used by the Knight Templar. What they would do is with new initiates, they would place them in a coffin for 3 days, representing Jesus, life, death, rebirth, and also Osiris. And this resurrection was to partake while you were still alive, not in the sense of just normal life, death, rebirth. Now, this also symbolised the emergence of your higher self, the emergence of your Christ within, emergence with your inner God, your inner Ra. Now, if you even read the Book of the Dead, it even has little hints in there that we are gods. And it's got mentions about how our body parts are parts of the gods. So I'm the God from within yourself. This is one reason why the higher elites had a secret religion to some of the common people, because they couldn't understand the deeper meanings, which is esoteric knowledge is not made for everyone. Now, these groups were big on mathematical truths, astrology, science, and philosophy. During this ritual, they would place their new initiates in the coffin for 3 days, would force them to have an enlightenment. When they come out of this experience, they would be asked what they see, to interpretate what they've seen, or they would interpretate what they've seen for them, or they would ask them the true secrets of human nature. They would ask the true secrets of the universe. They would ask for prophecies or signs. Now, this knowledge was also seen to be used for either good or it could be used for evil. Now, they would often chant ancient prayers or ancient texts that were used from much earlier times. Now, this was also seen as spells and purifications and even magical formulas. And this could ultimately increase one's experience or even bring someone in a knowledge of oneself or knowledge of human nature, in a sense, or the mysteries of the universe, or the mysteries of mathematics. And they see mathematics and the universe sort of from one. They see mathematics as all. So they used to meet up in secret and discuss mathematical truths. So they would undertake rigorous disciplines study of the mind and body and soul and the spirit. So to increase their resolve and their intelligence, basically. To progress was what they were really after. They were ultimately after to bring in a new age, in a sense. Some were the opposite. Some, as I said, it could be used for evil. Some used it for their own gains, made their own religions and stuff like this, or formed their own governments and power bases of spheres of influence. Now, this whole saying of the rebirth is many ancient Egyptians believed in reincarnation. Some of the Templars would be Gnostic. After going through the tombs and pillaging for the church, and they would have discovered a lot of older text, and there's some theories that they blackmailed the church, and this is one reason they were killed. They were killed for their money, for their banking system. They were also killed because of they were the only ones that could stamp an artifact and say it was authentic. And so to get rid of this so they could make their own artifacts, their own holy relics, they killed off the Templars as well. So it was a bit of reasons. But then the Templars also merged in with governments later on. So they went underground and driven back into societies and stuff. And yeah. So they were also liked in other countries. So they were held in Spain and they made the state of Portugal. But this is one of their rituals, was they would place their initiates into a coffin. And this would be their resurrection while they were still alive. So their age of enlightenment. And this practice was kept in secret because when the time of the Catholic Church and Orthodox Church come into mostly in power, they would hunt down these people and call them heretics. And this was seen as a, as a devil sort of thing. It was, Christians say be like Christ, but don't be too much like Christ. Otherwise it's a heretic movement. It's evil, which is silly, because to be like Jesus is to be like God, and they don't see this. They don't see the deeper truths of we are all Christ. We are all a Buddha. We can all be enlightened and be good people. We have something beyond ourselves that we can unlock from within ourselves. And this is what these mystery schools were about. So they were teaching their initiates mathematical truths. They were teaching them deeper truths of astrology and science. And they would also encourage them in philosophy, reading and writing. So ultimately they were really big on improving themselves, intelligence, seeing the bigger picture. that the rest of the public couldn't quite see. And later on in time, this sort of moved on, and some of these mystery schools fell down, but some of them, as they were slowly disappearing, some of them would come out and start sharing this secret knowledge. And some of these ideas got adapted into other religions and become the new powers of play. So it's quite interesting. So a lot of these texts, as I mentioned, were from earlier times. And this is because they would keep this knowledge and pass it on. And the rest of the public didn't quite know about this because it was from earlier times, because they kept it in their grips. Otherwise, it would have really been changed. So what they sort of change and adapt into the public to unify was the ultimate goal, in a sense, or to keep going their traditions. And ultimately, these traditions did get merged into other groups, into other secret societies, and were driven underground and merged and becoming the governments, and etc. Peace and love, everyone. I love you all. Connect to one, mind and soul. Namaste.